Well, hey, Mike, you're going to stay up here with me?
For a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Hey, oh, you got a fan club there, bro. There you go. There you go. That must be his church. Mike is an intern at Woodlands Church in Plover, right?
Yep.
There you go. And we have Mike up here because it's really cool what God's been doing in his life and why he's even here today. And so, hey, Mike, will you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Mike McGuire. I was born in Chicago and moved to Wisconsin at a very young age, so I'm a Wisconsinite. Fourth grade, I moved here, and I went to Minocqua. Is anybody from Minocqua? Woodruff? Any Woodruff people? And so I went to grade school there, and then I actually went to high school. We moved back to Illinois, and I took the wrong path. I think there's two paths in life. You can follow Christ, or you don't follow Christ. And I chose the life of not following Christ, which brought me down, got me into a lot of trouble, brought me down a really rough road. And after that, finally, Christ really opened my heart when I was about 20 years old, and I gave my life to Him. And since then, He's just been working in crazy ways in my life. And I have two younger brothers and an older sister. And right now I have a beautiful wife and 4 children. So I'm 28 years old and living in Plover, Wisconsin.
Dude, that's awesome. 4 kids, man. 4 kids. Woo! Give it up for that. Wow. That's pretty cool. So kind of what, later on in life you accepted Christ, and what got you into wanting to do youth ministry? Tell about kind of why you felt called to do that.
All right, when I gave my life to Christ, I knew there was a lot of stuff that I did when I was your age, and just went down that wrong road. And after I gave my life to Christ and through a series of events that happened, I realized that I wanted to be a part of helping people, helping students change their lives and giving their lives up for Christ so they don't have to walk down the road I did. And so that's where the passion really developed inside of me. And later on, I was at a church in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and some Rhinelander people, and I started, the youth started talking to me, and I started doing stuff. I took them to a camp, and just I wanted to get them connected because their lives at church were a little different than their lives at school, and I wanted them to help each other be accountable and to just love each other not only at church but at school as well. And so doing that, I came back to church after we took them to this camp, and then there was an announcement on Sunday that youth group was going to be at my house. And I thought, oh, okay. And started doing that, and students started coming over, and we had different people coming. They were bringing friends that didn't know Christ, and I got to introduce them to Christ. And God was just really working in my heart, and He really called me to this. At the same time, I had a job at Coca-Cola. Is there any Coke fans out there? Coca-Cola? It's good, a few of you. And so, I was working too. So now I had a family. I had two children, one on the way, and I was working at Coca-Cola and doing ministry full time, basically. And so as I was doing that, I had this choice. There was this decision in my life. I knew God was calling me to devote my life fully to youth. But at the same time, I had this decision. I was offered an opportunity in Plover to run the Coca-Cola facility there and kind of manage 40-plus employees. And it was a big deal because I was only 25. And so through a lot of praying, God really wanted me to go to Plover. And so that's what I did. I had to give up youth ministry there and come and devote myself to a new job in Plover.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Hey, go Mellow Yellow, by the way. Oh, yeah.
Vault?
Yeah, sorry, Mountain Dew takes it. Sorry, dude. But, yeah, obvious. Some of my guys drank 80 cans of Mountain Dew this weekend.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Recycle.
Anyway, so you're managing 40 employees. You got 4 kids. Yeah. You feel this tug at you to go into youth ministry, but you have a house. What kind of got you to pull the trigger on that? That's a big jump. How you're going to, now you're interning, right?
Right.
And we know what interns make, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, so I was a district sales manager running this Coke facility, 40-plus employees, overseeing distribution and operations, and God still has this beating. It felt like a drum beat on my heart, just saying, you need to do full-time youth ministry. And I'm like, Lord, you just brought me to point. That's where you told me to be. I took the position you wanted me to take. He says, all right, well, you came here, you bought a house, you got a Harley, you got a nice car. He's like, I want you to sell that stuff and follow me.
Wow. The Harley even too?
The Harley too.
Wow, man. That's huge. That's huge.
So that's what I did.
Can you just give it up for that? Like, I dream about Harleys. That's huge. You know, that just blows me away when you were telling me about that before. How you gave up your house, your Harley, and everything so that you could intern because you feel this call into youth ministry. That's pretty amazing. That's a huge, huge jump. Tell us a little advice. There's probably a lot of students out here, maybe even volunteers, who have felt that tug to go into ministry full time. And, you know, you did it later on in life, but these students who are out here, you know, they get to, you know, go to college. Maybe all they have to do is change their college application, right? So give a little advice to the students.
Well, if you really feel like you're being led to do something, like my wife and I were talking last night, and we don't consider it a sacrifice at all. Like, I took a demotion at my job. You know, like I sold my house, sold my Harley, sold my van so that I can follow Christ. That's not a sacrifice at all when you think about what Christ did for us, the sacrifice he made for us. So if you guys feel that calling in your heart where you feel like, you know, God might be leading you to one place or another, like, do it now when you feel that call. Don't wait until later on in life. You have the opportunity now. Like, talk to your leaders, talk to some, you know, your youth pastors. There's areas that you can get involved in, and do that now while you're young so that you can develop that. And to leaders that are out there too, you know, if you're being led to whatever you're being led to, whatever ministry, like, if God's calling you to that, you know, do it. You know, follow him. He says to follow him, and that takes action, and that's what we need to do.
Yeah, that's huge, and you're a living example of that. Can we give it up for Mike? Hey,